This is Gamers at the End of the World. I'm doing this because with the end of the world coming up in a few days, I figured I'd ask people out there, gamers of course, a couple of questions. If you're interested in, commenting, just do so. Look down in the description. You'll have all the questions there. There are only three, so you can just answer them or just look at them and go to a new video. It doesn't matter. It's your choice. But question number one, with the end of the world coming out, what game coming out next year would you regret not being able to play the most? For me personally, it would be Dead Space 3. Like, even though with all the other games coming out, I mean, I really only know four. You got Bioshock Infinite. Obviously, that's going to be amazing. And The Last of Us, which I believe comes out May 7th, they just announced that. And personally, I'm excited for Metal Gear Rising. You got those coming out. I think they're going to be great. But for me, number one is definitely Dead Space 3. Got all of it here. Dead Space movies and all the games in order. And Obviously, that might show a little bit that I like the franchise. Like, the only thing I don't have are the, paper novels, because technically I have the comics in Extraction, the digital form. And I can't show it, but I do have Dead Space Ignition, which is like, admittedly, it's a crappy little downloadable game, but you do get free stuff if you beat it for Dead Space 2. And I just can't wait for Dead Space 3 because I love the franchise. I love like pretty much horror franchises the most. And I cannot wait to play co-op because even though everyone's having problems with it, which is just dumb. Like, if you think it's like, oh, it's gonna be action and all that, that's pretty stupid because it's not. Co-op and single player completely separated. If you do single player, you're on your own, classic, regular Dead Space. But if you do co-op, you have the partner Carver, and the new trailer that they just did for co-op, which is like play together or play alone. It's something entitled like that. You can look it up, obviously. They have it where Carver actually has problems like Isaac did in the other games, where he's having hallucinations because he lost his wife and son, and so he sees like these wooden soldiers all over the place. Which obviously, if you're doing co-op and you're playing as Isaac, nothing's there, and you just see him like grabbing air like that, and they kind of show it back and forth, where you see it from Carver's view, and he's picking up this wooden toy, and then he looks at Isaac, and it's like just a dead, bloody, messed up face, and then they show it from Isaac's point of view, and it's just nothing happening. He's just looking at him really weird. And they also said that if you do co-op or if you do single player, certain doors aren't even open because Carver isn't there, so you only get that in co-op. And I think that's just a great way to have the game, and it just helps the story because you get basically two different stories. And I'm sure I'll play single player first just because it's Dead Space, so I'll be used to that. And then once I beat the game, I'll play with a friend or someone random. It doesn't matter, and go through the game and enjoy it in co-op too. And I'm also interested to see what they do with the online for that, since they had co-op, or not co-op, but they had multiplayer for 2 with the 4 versus 4. You play as the Necromorphs, play as the humans. We get new Necromorphs. We get the Twitchers, which are the really fast ones. If you've never played Dead Space, I know this means nothing, but for people who have, you get the Twitchers, the really quick ones from the first game back, and that should be really cool. And plus, we get like the ones that if you like chop their head off, they get the little tentacles that come out, and if you like chop their legs off, they get like basically replacement legs, and they can crawl faster. So I'm interested to see how that works out in multiplayer. And just this is everything in order. Although I guess you could argue, which comes first, the Downfall or Extraction, because technically they both show the uncovering of the marker. But I think Downfall, I guess they both show it differently, but I think Downfall does show it when they actually like break through the wall and like first see the marker. But I could be wrong. I haven't actually even watched it yet because I've been pretty busy with school and stuff, so I just haven't seen it in a while. But that is definitely what I would regret not being able to play the most, is Dead Space 3, because Love the franchise. Obviously, saw all that. Love the franchise. Love the action. Love the story, and I'm just curious to see where it goes. Also, loving the franchise, I know I have a lot of ideas for what they might do for DLC. Like if you played two and you played the DLC or you played Extraction, you know, actually this character right here, like Lexine Murdoch, is into um, the DLC for two, and some stuff happens there. Like if you happen to be interested in buying it, I won't spoil it, but she's in the DLC and some crazy stuff happens. So I'm really interested to see if she'll be in the main campaign or what new DLC they'll come out with for her, which I doubt. Even if they have DLC for her, which I'm sure they will, you won't be able to play as her because she'll be. Well, I won't even say it because that'll spoil it too. But if you know, then you know because it's only a few months. It's 6 months after three takes place. And so that leads me to question number two. What game that's already out, it doesn't have to be this year, just out, period, would you regret not being able to play the most? For me, I haven't gotten to play Portal 2 yet. And obviously, if you've played it, or even if you haven't and you want to play it like I do, it's a great game. Because I have the first one, got it with the orange box, and I first got my 360. And it was a great game. And I can't wait to play 2 because I want to know the story. I've played some of the co-op levels when I was at Youmacon, which is an anime convention downtown Detroit. Love that. Just want to know the story because I'm still a little confused about it because I know it's like years later and that's why the whole facility is messed up. But I wonder like why you're still there when you beat the end of the first game. You basically escape. So I'm curious about that. Obviously I don't like to spoil myself, so I don't really look up main plot points. And that's also why I didn't look up the ending song, which I really want to do because I heard that was better than the first song, which obviously everyone knows is great. So, I want to see that song. I want to hear the song, see the song. I guess I could read it if they do the lyrics like they did in the first one. But I want to hear the song, I want to play the story, and I want to do the co-op. And also, the only reason I don't have it is because I'm waiting for it to go down to like 20 on PlayStation, because you get the PS3 copy and your Steam copy. So I've really been waiting to do that because I could have bought it on Steam because they do if you don't know, Steam does like amazing deals on games, and I'm sure I've seen it for like $5 or $6 by now, like twice. But I really want it on PlayStation so I can play with my PlayStation friends online, and I get a free Steam copy as well. And you still get the functionality from the Steam, like all the same functionality on PlayStation because you get to you get the level editor or level creator, I guess. And I don't know if you can transfer that. If I start it up on PlayStation, but I have to leave if I can link it to my account or whatever. But I get to do it on my PlayStation regardless, which would just be fun instead of being limited only to my laptop. And I regret not being able to play that if the world was ending, which I don't think it is. It would suck if it was, but I just don't think it is. But for me, it's Portal 2. It's just a game I really want to get. Been waiting to get it, and hopefully I'll have it soon. Because, like I said, I really want to know the story and just enjoy the game. And then, leads me to question number 3. What game that's come out, obviously it doesn't have to be this year, but what game has come out that you have been able to play, something you've been waiting for a long time that you have been able to finally get and beat? For me, it's Resistance 3 because I waited to get that for a long time. Ever since it was announced, I wanted the game, which was before I even had a PlayStation 3 actually. So the ending to 2 was actually spoiled because obviously once the third game's coming out, it's been enough time. There's like that spoiler limit. Once like the fourth game or like the fourth movie's coming out for something, I think it's it's kind of okay to spoil the second one, or the first one. It's kind of like you just have a set time limit. But it didn't really mess anything up for two or anything like that, and it didn't matter. I knew Resistance was a great game. Alternate World War II, aliens come in, blah blah blah. And I finally got one and two. I did beat those, loved them. And then three came out, and I was like, all right, I have to get this game. But waited for that to go down to 20 as well, which I recently got thanks to Black Friday. So I got a couple of games. I got it, beat it, and my main thing was I thought it was gonna be the end. I don't know why. Just trilogy. I just thought three, that it's done. Which I think with Dead Space 2. I think three, nothing else. But I'm sure I'm wrong about that as well. But I thought, okay, I was thinking, this is the last one. Either he'll kill all the Chimera, which are the aliens in the game, or he'll die. Neither of those things happened. But it didn't matter. It didn't have to be like the final conclusion or anything. It was still a great game, just like 1 and 2, and just like 2, it has like amazing set piece moments. I feel where even though I'm the main character, and it's really only been like 2 hours since I started, I look at all these crazy aliens, like giant aliens coming in, or like a swarm or stuff like that, and I think, am I about to die here because all this crazy stuff is happening? And it's pretty intense when I play it. And I guess that's just me, because I do really get into my games, and I like to just dive right in, and I don't like to look at it. I try not to think about it, because it's just like watching a show. When something crazy happens, it's like, well, they're not gonna die. I mean, it's pretty obvious they're gonna get out of it, obviously, but you're still interested because you want to see what crazy thing do they do to get out of it. And that's what I like about Resistance. They have those crazy set piece moments that really make me think I am about to die. And even if I think like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna die because, well, I can't say because I'm the main character, but because it's only been a few hours, and you assume they aren't just gonna kill a bunch of people and then you just keep switching main characters. But you have those moments, or at least I did, where it was intense enough, and it had a few surprises in there. I guess it's not too big of a spoiler or anything, but there is a part where you actually have to like fight off humans for once, and I thought that was great. And they put you in a pit pretty much, and you have to like fight off Chimera, and then you have to fight off some humans too, and they give you an amazing sledgehammer to just knock everybody down. And that's just a really fun part of the game to me. And it also happened after a big moment in the game, which I never would have expected. But I really love that game. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad I played it. It's something I was waiting for a long time, and I enjoyed it. So those are the 3 questions. You can answer, comment, rate, subscribe, or don't. Do whatever you want. I would appreciate it if you did comment. You don't have to subscribe or like or anything like that. But just some feedback from gamers out there, thinking about the end of the world. What do you want, or what will you regret missing? If it happens, what will you regret missing that you could get today even, and what are you glad you got, recently, that you've been waiting for so long? Thanks for watching. Comment, let me know, get feedback from other people. Thanks.